Welcome back. I'm Rick Outzen. This is Rick's Blog Live. Thank you for watching the show. The feedback has been great, and we're going to keep doing it. Today we got a great show. We got Police Chief Eric Wenstrom. We have Justin Whitkin about Pensacola Football Club, who won a national championship in soccer. We have Lumpy DeWeese, who just came back from being a summer intern for Congressman Jimmy Petronis, and he's now getting ready to start UWF football. He's a star player for them. So we've got a great show lined up. The new issue is out. The cover story is the end of the summer to-do list. But there are two things I want you to look for in this issue. One, I did an interview with Armadillo for All. It's an anonymous social media account that's holding UWF leadership accountable. They began last April on Founders Week when they started to notice that things weren't the way it used to be, that a lot of the values and the reasons that people love UWF were being lost. They began challenging the leadership, Manny Diaz and Zach Smith, who's on the board, and a lot of different things happening on campus, including the new brand. It is a fascinating sight to watch. The interview is great. No, I do not know who is Armadillo for All. We did it purposely, anonymously, where I submitted the questions and they replied in writing. Not something that I usually do, but I believe, it's important to be punk in this generation. In these times, somebody's got to be punk, and we definitely want to be part of the resistance and push for what's best for UWF and best for our community. You can go to the article, you can follow them on Instagram. They do a tremendous amount on Instagram, but also Facebook and Reddit. It's Armadillo for All. You can Google it, or you can go ahead and go to the website, nweekly.net, and read the story. You'll find out why I really think this is a special group to follow. The other big story is in my outtakes. An unusual thing happened at the county budget hearing last week. They had a budget workshop. There are two numbers to keep in mind when you look at the budget. It's the millage rate, which is the tax that's charged per $1,000 value of property. And if you keep the current millage rate, your taxes stay about the same, but you're able to pick up increase in overall value in the community when new construction happens. Or you can do the rollback rate. And the rollback rate acts as if you roll it back to where the total income collected is the same as it was before, the total revenue. Right now, to keep the current rate, you have to have 4 commissioner votes to do that. If anything less than that, then it automatically goes to the rollback rate. Well, Commissioner Ashley Hoffberger doesn't like the community grant program, or also called the discretionary funds. She boldly said at the last meeting that she will not support any budget that has the discretionary fund in it. And she reached out and telegraphed to Commissioner Steve Stroberger, the two of us could vote together and keep it from happening, which is extortion. Put plain simple. If you can't win 3 votes, you can use the system to block something with 2. And what happens are the unintended consequences. What services will be cut? She lives in a really rich neighborhood. She lives primarily, most of her district is inside the city limits. So most of the services that her voters receive come from the city of Pensacola, not from Escambia County. The exception is the beach and Ferry Pass. So she's in a very protected type area. She can say that go to the rollback and not feel any impact on it, in her constituents primarily. So it's a game of Russian roulette. It's a game of trying to bully the other commissioners to go her way. We haven't seen anything like this before, but we'll see how it plays out. She doesn't face anyone in the primary. She goes all the way to the general election. We'll see if she holds firm on this, and we'll see what the impact is on services. It's something that you need to read. It's in Outtakes. Pick up the whole issue. You can find it online at nweekly.net, also in wherever you work, shop, or dine in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. We're going to go ahead and break. When we come back, we'll have Police Chief Eric Wenstrom. Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back. I'm Rick Alton. This is Rick's Blog Live. The month of July has really been, I'm not the word saturated, but we've dealt with a lot coming out of the 4th of July shooting in downtown Pensacola. We're moving towards a conclusion and now prosecution of those cases. And we've got with this Pensacola Police Chief, Eric Winstrom. Eric, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
I know it's in an active investigation, there are limitations on what you can talk about, but give us the best update you can give us on this case.
And really, we're moving, very much past the investigation stage, now moving to the court phase. And so you want to make sure that those individuals who have been charged, they're entitled to a fair trial. And I don't want to corrupt that at all. But the detectives did an excellent job. As you said, July is for the police department a very busy summer as it is.
Right.
This incident that happened July 5th with 7 people shot is the most individual shot that I think my entire team said in the city of Pensacola. I said, have we had a mass shooting like this in the city? What's our experience been? And just about every single person said this is the most they've seen. There's a officer who relocated from Baltimore. He's seen more. I supervised a scene with 13 individuals shot in the city of Chicago, and unfortunately the city of Chicago was numb to that, so much so that I can remember just a day or two after that incident that I supervised, it was already out of the newspaper, off the blogs and media coverage. And that's a sad thing when a city is so numb to violence that it's just like any other day when that many people are shot. So we're not numb to violence. We never want to be numb to violence. A very sad incident. 2 individuals now have lives have been taken. One obviously by gunfire of someone else, one by a choice of their own, but tragic nonetheless. Families torn apart. Very sad, and I hope it's nothing that the city experiences. But by way of update, we met with the prosecutor's office as recently as last week to tidy up things and to make sure that they have, from our investigative team, all the information that they need moving forward. There was a ton of evidence involved, so finishing and processing that evidence, making sure they have all the technological evidences. An individual who gets arrested might have a phone on them, and that phone might have more information on just that small device than dozens of computers 20 years ago. So a lot to work through, and hopefully, if nothing else, we're getting the answers for the families of those involved to not make sense of this. But the most difficult thing that I've heard from a lot of individuals who've had loved ones taken from them, especially from gun violence, they want to know what happened. And it's not going to bring the person back, but it brings some level of comfort, some level of ability to start a healing process, whatever's available. And so getting those answers is one of our primary objectives, as well, obviously, is justice for those who need to be held accountable.
I mean, it seems, just based on the police reports and in our conversations and the press conferences, that it was a very, as you can imagine, it was a very tight area. Seems that a lot of chaos that was going on, and I was talking to another group of reporters about it from out of town, and I said, you understand, it's not like the movies where when someone shoots a gun, they know exactly, they're going to hit all the people they want to hit. It's not an organized shot field at all, and everyone's a potential target.
You see those old Western bar scenes where the 2 people standing across, and you know who's going to shoot who, and where those bullets are generally.
Or John Wick walking through a huge auditorium and hitting everybody before they.
Exactly right. And unfortunate in real life with the chaos, with that many people around, with individuals who probably aren't trained at operating handguns, and in this case, we had individuals that were shot by their own friends, people running and shooting while not even really appearing to look where they're shooting. So an incredibly dangerous situation, obviously a tragic ending. But as you said, the chaos in a scene like that with that many people in one place.
That late at night.
Oh yeah.
Alcohol involved with some.
Alcohol, without the sun shining. And that many young people around, it really is a recipe for tragedy, and unfortunately that's happened. I am thankful that more people weren't hit, as that's a real possibility that could have happened, but still it's a little comfort to P.J. Shepard's family, to Trevon Bradley's family. So a very dark day for the city, and I hope nothing we ever have to deal with again.
Right. You know, we've got just a few minutes before we break for commercial, but just we talked last time about it, and you've done it at the press conferences too, is the steps to an investigation like this, just, without hurting the prosecution or anything. Talk about just the steps that y'all had to go through here.
Well, I think the beginning, which made it not easy, because this was not an easy, it's a very complex investigation, but something that we probably wouldn't have 20 or 30 years ago is that video, which was released by the state's attorney's office at a bond hearing, that you see. It's grainy, it's taken from a distance, it's black and white, but it at least begins to tell the story. And once we understand that a lot of the individuals involved were riding that line of, are they a victim, are they offender, are they somewhat of both? You could see the resistance that the police face in approaching an individual hit by gunfire. You're going to ask them, hey, tell us what happened, and they refuse. Well, when that's a big obstacle to overcome, and so that video helped us out immensely. The forensic evidence, the shell casings certainly tell a story. And then I really have to give it to the community who stepped up, all the businesses in the area, anyone who really wasn't involved in this, who was on scene, was willing to talk to the police, share what they saw. That started filling in those gaps. And then even towards a week or so ago, when we were asking the community for help, identifying one final individual who was likely an alleged shooter in this, the community again stepped up. We put pictures out, and almost instantaneously we had feedback, individuals saying, I believe this is the person you're looking for, and we were able to put the final pieces to this puzzle together.
In talking to the business owners and the business managers downtown, they feel very confident in how the Pensacola Police have handled it. That it is not, I guess, a sense return to normalcy, but there was a tremendous amount of trust in how y'all were handling it. And I think there was a huge sense of the businesses, let's do what we can to help so we could prevent this from happening again.
And we felt that. We felt that when we were the morning after, when we were going door to door, canvassing the area, and the days after, when businesses were coming in, individuals that were on vacation coming back so they could access the hard drive of their surveillance system, et cetera. Everybody was stepping up. That made a huge difference, and I think I'm glad that they're comfortable with our response. I think they should expect that. They want to know that area of Pensacola, and I want to say the whole city of Pensacola, is not the place that is going to tolerate violence. And if there is some evil act like this, you can guarantee that the Pensacola Police Department is going to step up, take all the steps, be very professional. We're going to follow through. We're going to hold people accountable.
All right, let's go ahead. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about your first 100 days.
Great.
Here, we'll move on from this incident. We'll take a break, pay a few bills. We'll be right back. We're Rick's Blog Live.
I learned during my military service to train every day to fight and fight to win. If you've been injured in an accident, you already know one thing for sure. The insurance companies are going to fight you for every dollar you deserve. At Michelson Booth, we settle most of the cases we handle. But if the insurance companies choose to fight, well, we're okay with that too. If you've been injured in an accident, choose a law firm that's got the resources, training, and stomach for the fight. Michelson Booth. Don't be a victim twice.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
My name is Bill Sadler. I'm the general manager with Empire Truck Sales here in Pensacola, Florida. I've been advertising with Blab TV for well over 20 years. Blab TV has been a huge success for the growth and success in our company. Blab reaches the local community. It's an advertising venue that really reaches our target audience and customers. It's not a week that goes by that we don't see somebody out in the community that says, "Hey, I saw your show on Blab TV, it was great." My name is Bill Sadler and I am Blab TV.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
Hey folks, Winston Lindsay here with Living Southern Homes in Bruton, Alabama. We just want to remind you our new show will be coming on at 5:30 on Mondays on Blab TV and also Thursday at noon. Don't miss these opportunities. We will see you then.
Welcome back. I'm Rick Outzen. This is Rick's Blog Live. We've got with us Pensacola Police Chief Eric Winstrom. Chief, you have, 5 months?
Yeah, about 5 months.
About 5 months
coming up,
now
a few days.
on the job. What has surprised you about the Pensacola Police Department?
I won't say it surprised me. Well, I'll admit the level of warm welcome that I got internally in the police department. I know that there was a very good internal candidate. There was a candidate from another part of the state that applied to be in this job, and police are skeptical. Police are cynical just from what we see on a day-to-day basis. And to have an outsider come in, I've done this before,
right.
And I knew that I was going to be met with some resistance, but so I didn't expect the level of welcoming that I found, including Captain Goss, who's an excellent police officer. His grandfather was chief of police, I think for maybe the longest chief of police we've ever had here. Back in the 80s, 18 years he did. He loves this police department very much, and he was one of the individuals that put in for the job, I think just because he cared so much about making sure that there was a good steward for a police department that he cared about so much. And I was thinking, I might show up and I might get the cold shoulder. He's one of the most welcoming, supportive individuals, and the whole police department has been like that. So I was a little bit surprised by how easy the transition it was, and how everybody was, all right, the new chief's here. What are the marching orders? What are we going to do? And let's get at it. Let's get to it. So,
well, you've done this before. Grand Rapids, you were an outsider coming in. There, you looked at. Remember, you talked about you really looked at the use of force policy that Grand Rapids was using. You made changes to it. It's still maybe early, and you've had to deal with a lot of. I don't mean to laugh, but you've dealt with a lot of big instances in a very short period of time. Are you looking at policies here that you'd like to refine?
We touched around the edges a little bit on some of the things so far, and certainly there are some big ticket items we want to talk about. We want to talk about the curfews, which is a big topic of conversation, which we could talk about. Talking about use of force as recently as about an hour before I came here with the leadership in the police department. So I don't think that we're going to get to a place where, all right, I'm done, here's it. We're always going to be looking to get better. And so all those things are on the table. Communicated with our training division yesterday about bringing in possibly some different instructors for use of force, because there's new ideas, new changes in our profession on a regular basis. And we want to be a leader. We don't want to be catching up with some other police department in the region or in the country. We want to know that we're the gold standard of policing. So always looking at things. Our pursuit policy is something that we've changed since I've been here, where officers know that it's a balance of chasing vehicles, because that's inherently dangerous, but we also want to make sure that they have enough tools so that criminals don't become emboldened thinking the police will never chase me. So always looking to do better, always looking at, I was the commanding officer of policy and procedure in Chicago for about 15 months or so, maybe a little more. I love police policy. I'm a little bit nerdy in that way, and still have a lot of contacts across the country, always looking to say, what can we do better?
How are you man-wise, the workforce? Are you still looking for officers? How many positions you have?
Still looking for, I believe our application system might be open right now. However, if no one retired over the next, over the next year, we'd be good. We're at, filled our vacancies. We've got 7 in training right now. Those count for the 7 vacancies, but we know that there's going to be retirement. Big police department, there's always going to be somebody hitting that 20, 25, 30 year mark that wants to move on to something else or just retire altogether. And so we know that we can't keep our foot off the gas and make sure that we can both keep an eye on making sure we're a good steward of city money, as a lot of unknown uncertainties looking forward with property tax changes and everything, but knowing that we have to provide a safe environment, and that includes filling those vacancies, and we're doing well.
Grand Rapids is bigger population-wise than the city of Pensacola, but what are some of the similarities in the two cities and some of the differences?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the interesting similarities that I found is Grand Rapids is the second biggest city in Michigan, 200,000 plus people, but it's on the west side of the state. It's far away from Detroit, and it's really the hub of that region. And whereas Pensacola is a smaller city, but when you're talking West Florida, when you're talking this area, the Panhandle, I'm friends now with the Panama City chief, and you can call him up and talk to him. It's a long drive out there. The area, Pensacola really is, well, let me put it this way. If you're looking to go to a good restaurant, you're going into Pensacola. You want something to do, you're coming to Pensacola. You want to go see a Wahoos game, there's so much happening in here. We really are the central hub of this region. So even though it's a little bit smaller of a city, it still kind of has a feeling of, we're not, we're not a city the size of Chicago, but we have a much oversized influence for the population that we have here. So I recognize how important this city is. As far as differences, one thing that talking to my leadership team, in northern cities, when it comes to December, January, February, that's usually the time that the police departments often catch their breath. They focus a lot more on training because crime statistically drops a lot.
It's a lot
because
colder
people
to
are
be
inside.
outside. Right.
That's it. And
Right.
it's not, it drops significantly, so much that your violent crime might drop 50+%. And those are the times that a lot of officers want to take vacations, and you can do that. So it's a different look here when I realize that this is going to be active all the way through. There is not, a season where everyone hides
Right.
inside. Maybe there's a day or two if we catch a snowstorm or an ice storm or something, but generally speaking, that doesn't happen here. So it's a little bit different of how you view it. You have to spread out all the training, spread out, everybody's vacation,
Right.
et cetera. So it's something different that one of the positives about being here.
All right, we're almost punched up against time, but one thing, what can we expect from the Pensacola Police Department for the rest of the year? We've moved past this crisis. Now what's next?
Well, I mentioned 7 individuals that were, hopefully that's it for crises. Right? That's what we want. We've got a lot of discussions to do. We've got a budget coming up. We're going to be fine. We have a very supportive city, a very supportive city government, elected officials, which is wonderful. It puts us in a great position, but we've got a lot of unknown as far as the budget moving forward. We know that if the property tax changes happen, that's going to impact the fire department. It's going to impact the police department. We always want to make sure we're being as efficient as possible, but that's one of the things that we're going to be looking at, efficiencies. Is there some way that we can, tighten our belt, for lack of a better word, and do things better? And we're always looking at that. As far as changes for the future, I mentioned the 7 individuals who we've got in training right now that are going to fill those vacancies. In a police department this side, when you've got 7 vacancies, we've got a detective spot that's unfilled. We've got a vice and narcotics spot that's unfilled right now. We've got a traffic unit that's overextended because we have so many complaints about speeders. Just those 7 individuals are going to make a difference. People that live in Pensacola are going to see the level of customer service is going to go up. I just responded to an email complaint about speeders on a street on the north side of town today, and my message really is help is on the way. We're going to get there. And fast forward a few months here, I think you're going to see our reputation as giving excellent customer service is going to just keep getting better.
Well, great. Chief, thank you so much for doing this again.
Of course.
We'll make this a monthly deal because I enjoyed the conversation.
I like the coffee.
All right. We'll go ahead and break. We'll be right back. Rick's Blog Live.
I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
Take a breath and step into something green. At Pensacola Seed and Garden, both of our locations are open 7 days a week, ready when you are. We don't just sell plants, we grow many of them right here with care you can see. And once you take one home, you'll find everything you need to help it thrive. Visiting from out of town? Discover unique exotic plants you can bring home, often for less than ordering online. Pensacola Seed and Garden. Grow something beautiful.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Nestled in the heart of Pensacola, Dorothy's is a one-of-a-kind, community-driven cocktail bar by Oasis, Florida, created to sustain vital HIV and STI care across the Florida Panhandle. Inspired by the Wizard of Oz, rooted in inclusion and dripping with character, Dorothy's is a welcoming space with award-winning Oz-inspired cocktails, food by Steel Pony Diner, and an unmatched atmosphere. Join us 7 days a week in downtown Pensacola, located directly across from Maritime Park and the Blue Wahoo Stadium.
Welcome back to Rick's Blog Live. I'm Rick Outzen. This is the fun part for me. We've got Liam Lumpy DeWeese, UWF student athlete, football player, as well as this summer an intern with Congressman Jimmy Patronis. And now you start football right on top of this. Not much of a break from coming back from D.C.
Absolutely. It's kind of getting punched in the teeth with reality after a summer up in D.C., which is not the real world.
Yeah, tell me, as working as an intern, how do you negotiate? How did the day go? How did you find a place to live? How did that all work?
So I got lucky. I had a buddy who knew some guys that went to Georgetown, so we leased out their townhouse out in Georgetown for the summer. And then, so my typical day would be wake up around 6, catch the metro into town, go get my workout in to stay somewhat up to date with football.
And you use the house?
Yes, sir. The house staff gym.
Oh, cool.
And then I'd go into the office, do my news clips from the day, the news throughout the country, news from the district, stuff like that. Then kind of just get settled in and see what projects I had for the day.
Yeah, how many interns did the congressman have?
He had 3 for most of the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. There was 3 of us, and we all kind of just acted in like a secretary role, answering the phone, giving tours to constituents, stuff like that.
What was, as you looked at, what surprised you about Congress as a whole, that going up there, not, you were familiar with it, you took the courses, you've studied politics and all that and government, but what surprised you about it?
All that goes into just getting something to the floor, let alone through Congress as a whole, but all the committee markups and the rule bills and stuff like that you don't really see from the outside eye, all that has to happen before they can even vote on passing the bill. That and kind of how friendly everybody is outside of the public eye. Mm-hmm. You'll be coming back. I got the chance to go to the floor for votes, and you'll be coming back and in the elevator with people from all over the country, both parties, and everybody's polite and cordial. It's kind of theatrical at times.
Right. That's my friends that have been there and have lobbied and worked with them. It said that the good politicians are the one that can have a drink afterwards together.
Absolutely.
And kind of laugh about what the political theater part of it, and still realize they're going to do what they need to do the next day. Mm-hmm. But they can be friends away from the floor.
Yes, sir. And that was cool. One of the cooler experiences I had up there is one of my roommates was from California, and so he interns from both sides of the aisle go out and hang out and have dinner and stuff like that. And that was one of the coolest things, getting to just hear everybody's perspective and where they're from and stuff like that.
Who did you meet that surprised you?
I got to meet Nick Saban, which was probably the coolest one. I met former Speaker Newt Gingrich. I got the chance to go see Nancy Pelosi speak and do an intern lecture series, which was really cool, just a legend in politics. Current Speaker Mike Johnson. Got to go to a bunch of different hearings and committees and kind of just see everybody and put a face to a name.
Right. Well, I remember your dad sent me a photo of you in the gallery when Nick Saban was testifying on NIL in college football. How was that?
It was unreal. And you wouldn't believe the way you have a committee panel of all the powerful senators and the way Saban commanded the room over all of them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You know, it's when Mayor D.C. Reeves was a sports reporter. In part, he covered Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. He covered Saban at Alabama. So every time we have a pretty rough press conference, I'd say, well, you're not any worse than dealing with Saban. So, you understand how the game's played. He said, yeah.
He would have made quite the politician.
Yeah. But it's, looking at the issue, I mean, everybody says Congress doesn't do anything, but they are doing something.
Mm-hmm. And even if that's just on a day-to-day basis, their offices is handling stuff for people in the district, whether that be casework or dealing with a federal agency. And that was probably the most rewarding thing, is to be able to pick up the phone and answer a constituent's call and be able to help them through something. Because their office is there to help, and they're happy to. It's what their main goal is to take care of the district.
Now, did you get a taste to want to do more in politics?
I did. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do after school, but I could see myself going back up there to work full time.
Yeah, that would be cool. It really, truly would be. As far as D.C., what were some of your favorite places to go?
Caught a lot of Nats games. They do $5 Tuesdays, so you can go. It's a good deal. Go get $5 sodas, $5 hot dogs, stuff like that. Cheap tickets.
I guess the summer interns, y'all learn the best deals in town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
DC is a happy hour town. It's a happy hour capital of the world. So that was the fun part, is just everybody leaving work and going to hang out and get to network and get to meet people, because nobody really goes up there with friends. So you just got to meet people with mutual friends and stuff like that.
It's kind of like starting college all over again, isn't it? You have to go in with that attitude.
Absolutely. I'm
going to meet I'm going to be nice, and you'll meet a few jerks in the process, but you'll make more friends.
Absolutely. And the vast majority of people up there, they want to help you, they want to get to know you. Really inviting and welcoming group of people.
Did you get to see any of the sights up there?
I did. I mean, every Sunday I'd try and go for a walk or a run and go see all the monuments and everything. And I did my best to get to most of the Smithsonian's as well when I had some free time.
Yeah, that's, to me, the first time I went up there, I think it was a chamber event in the 1990s, and the first time I'd ever been. And I didn't realize, I saw the Washington Monument, but didn't realize the Lincoln Memorial was on the other side of it. I stopped there. I stopped and didn't look over the hill. So stupid. But I did do the Smithsonian's and did the National Art Gallery, which was unbelievable to sit there. And then, later on in other trips, going back to the Library of Congress and seeing how phenomenal that place is.
It's gorgeous. It's probably the prettiest building in D.C. Every time I'd give a Capitol tour, I'd be like, now y'all need to go walk in the tunnel and see the Library of Congress, because it's unreal.
Now, football season's starting up, and you and I were talking a little bit before we started the show, is that it's so different now. You went on full ride from Gulf Breeze High School to Stetson. You were in D1 there. You saw an opportunity to come back home and be a part of the Argos, which their championship team, level team in D2. But the world has changed so much. I think every team is. You're going to need name tags when you go back to practice.
Yeah. We had a great team last year. We were a top 5 team in Division II, but we lost majority of that roster. A lot of them went up, are playing at big schools now. So I think we did a good job of reloading, and most of those guys were there in spring ball, so we kind of got the chance to see what we have. But we've made some good additions, and we should make some noise this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a very different kind of league because you're playing with some of these teams that have done very, very well. Austin Peay, when you look at them, they're an amazing, the talent level is even more than what you saw at Stetson. You're seeing a big move up. But I think you've got the coaching staff to deal with it.
Absolutely. Incredibly high-level staff. And that's the biggest thing, I think, is because I've had the chance to play with some guys from Texas, and coaching makes all the difference. They all came out of high school well coached and stuff like that, and I think that really will be able to help us compete this year.
Yeah. How's your class load this time?
It's interesting. I got a lot of finance classes, and I got to get over the hump and finish my senior year strong, but it should be good.
So your goal is to try to graduate this year?
Yes, sir. I'm graduating in May.
Okay.
So maybe go back up to DC and work, or jump on a campaign or something like that.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting. I think that if you're looking at it, someone who's thinking about going to college, what would be some of your advice for them? Let's say not even as an athlete, because you've always been a very strong student. What would be your advice to someone entering school now?
Just get there and put yourself out there. Meet everybody you can, and don't be afraid to apply for something that you might not feel qualified for, because I was just sitting doing homework one day and I was like, I'm going to apply to intern in Congress this summer, thinking that's something for strictly Ivy League kids or something like that. And I got the opportunity to go up there and enjoy it. So if there's something that even interests you, go find out if you really like it, is one thing I'd say.
Yeah, and of course you always make, every year you make the all nickname team for college athletes, football particularly. Lumpy DeWeese, Lumpy is in there, which is giving you some notoriety. It helped you in the recruiting process, didn't it?
It did. And that was one of the funny things, sitting up there. I worked the front of the office for the congressman, and people would walk in, and I'd have to host his meetings and everything before he'd take them. I'd say, "Hi, I'm Lumpy," and they'd step back and be, "What'd you say?" But it was good, and it helped people kind of remember me when they'd see me around.
Right. That's the beauty of it. The other side of it is, you worked you were very social media savvy when you were in high school to get your name out with coaches. What advice would you have for a kid who thinks they can play at the college level?
I'd say Twitter's the biggest thing, especially for football. I know other sports it varies, but getting your film out on Twitter, following as many coaches as you can, reaching out, saying, "Hey coach, watch my film," make good grades, and that pops when they see 4.0 GPA. They're much more likely to respond to your DM than if you don't put your grades.
Oh, great. Well, Lumpy, it's so great to have you here. I mean, it's been fun to watch you. I've watched Lumpy when he was a little bitty kid with 2 Coke cups with rocks in it, making it like it was a baseball behind the Pelicans games at UWF. So it's been so much fun to follow your career. I think we'll be able to watch. It's one of the things that we've always tried to do with the paper is promote young leaders, and I think you're definitely one of the ones we're proud of.
I'm a big fan of Pensacola. Any chance I get to represent Pensacola in a good, positive way, I try to jump at. This town's done a lot for me, and it's raised me. So I feel like I owe it to serve it in the best way I can.
Well, great. Lumpy, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
At A1 Automotive, we do it all kinds of repairs for all kinds of vehicles. We do AC repairs, we do suspensions, we do pre-purchase inspections. We'll diagnose your problem and get it fixed. Free brake inspection. We can provide financing for any work we do. Veteran-owned, military, and first responders discounts. A1 Automotive, 403 Beverly Parkway, Pensacola.
I'm Emily Echeverria. I'm the Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. In the past, Council on Aging has relied heavily on print and radio, but in the age of social media algorithms and smart devices, we know how highly prioritized and sought after video content has become. Our audience really responds to video content, and yours will too, especially the high quality of video that Blab produces. I'm Emily Echeverria, and I am Blab TV.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Take a breath and step into something green. At Pensacola Seed and Garden, both of our locations are open 7 days a week, ready when you are. We don't just sell plants, we grow many of them right here with care you can see. And once you take one home, you'll find everything you need to help it thrive. Visiting from out of town? Discover unique exotic plants you can bring home, often for less than ordering online. Pensacola Seed and Garden. Grow something beautiful.
Welcome back to Rick's Blog Live. I'm Rick Outzen. We got with us Justin Witkin, attorney that we all know, but also the owner of the Pensacola Football Club, the national champions.
Thank you, thank you.
Celebrated that last night at Seville Quarter. Tell us a little bit about, well, there's a lot I think we need to learn, but about the league that you're in and about the team.
Sure. Well, I'll start with the team and then I'll talk about the league. So Pensacola FC, the club actually started as the Texans, goes back to 2011, kind of focused on the women for a few years, actually won 2 national championships on the women's side of things, 2012, 2019. About 6 years ago, we formed a men's side that would compete at a higher level. So this is our 6th season of having a competitive men's team. Mm-hmm. So U.S. soccer, if you imagine a pyramid, and probably many of the listeners, they may know baseball and know Major League, AAA, AA, Single A. Right. In the U.S. soccer pyramid, we compete in what would be the Single A, the 4th tier. So there's true professional, MLS, there's true professional, USL, and then there's the next level, which is, they're true professionals, they're a level higher than us.
They're more like mid-city, a little bit larger cities.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. And that's USL Championship and USL 1. Where we compete, it's specifically called the League for Clubs, and there are a number of leagues. The NPSL is one, USL 2, a number of different leagues that sort of vie for the attention of teams in that space. But it's the 4th tier, and our players are typically either college players or immediate post-college players still looking for that full-time professional contract. And we play a pretty short season. We play from May until July. We just had our national championship, and so it's a very sort of compacted schedule, but it's full of a lot of games. We played 14 games in just over 2 months.
Wow!
So very, very compact schedule and a high level of soccer. I mean, these are the best of the college players and guys that are still looking for professional contracts. So it's a really good level of soccer, but it's a whirlwind. And man, this year we got to end it with lifting that trophy, which was special.
So you play your games at Brosnanham?
We do.
And so what's the conference? How do you get up to the championship level?
Yeah, so again, we're in something called the League for Clubs. The League for Clubs has 4 regions. We're in the South region. Specifically, we're in the Gulf Coast Division, and the Gulf Coast Division has 2 divisions, has an East and a West. So our first task is to win our division.
Right.
We played against Tallahassee, who in the history of Pensacola FC is our arch rival. We won that. Then we took on the West Division winner, which is a team that plays out of Daphne called Union 10. We beat them. They had beat us last year, so it was a great rematch, a great revenge win. So then we are the conference winners, the Gulf Coast Conference winners. We then took on a team from Austin, Texas. We traveled over to Texas, Capital Cities. Now, in an interesting twist, that game, actually, we ended up on the wrong end of the scorecard, but they forfeited the game because of a violation. Actually, they played some players they weren't supposed to play. So we were awarded that win, still not a loss for us.
Right.
So now we become the South Region representative. And then this past weekend, we headed back to Dallas, back to Texas, where we took on first team out of New York. They were the East Region winners. And then the ultimate final game was against a team from California, Iron Rose from Roseville, California. So you had the East, the Central, the West, and the South winners, and we came out on top, 1-0.
Now, is this the first men's national championship?
This is the first men's national championship for Pensacola FC.
How did it feel when you went to hoist that trophy at the end of that game?
You know, I wear a lot of hats, as you know, Rick.
Right.
I do a lot of things, and I was really surprised by the amount of emotion that I felt. You know, I'm fortunate to have a lot of people that help me in my family, my wife, my children. If you come out to a Pensacola FC game, everybody knows everybody out there. They are all pouring themselves into it, and I guess I didn't even realize how much I was invested in it, because when we won that trophy, boy, I was flying, and I was literally flying. The players picked me up and threw me in the air, and it was so cool. It was a lot of fun. It was a great.
Are you able to keep the same players from year to year? I know you're going to lose some from attrition, but
no, you know, that's one of the things I think that's been pretty neat about Pensacola FC is we have kept a good core of players. We'll see anywhere between, you know, maybe a high of 50%, somewhere around 50% will turn over. We'll get some new college players. A lot of our players are the ones that are in college. Many of them are international students, and they may have to return, but. So we see a good number, but we've had some guys. We've got our oldest player, our captain, Mikey Lightburn. He's been with the team for 6 years, and we've got like 5 players that have been with the team all 6 years that we've had a team, which is pretty neat. It gives you that real, you know, that veteran leadership that you look for in any sport. But I'll tell you what, I should have mentioned this earlier. We're going to be needing to rely on those players, because one of the cool things about winning this championship is we qualify for something called the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. This is a big deal. So I'll use another sports analogy. I'll analogize it to golf. So in the golf world, there are 4 majors. One of them is the U.S. Open. And one of the things that makes the U.S. Open unique is that you have non-PGA professionals that get to compete. Like the U.S. Amateur Camp gets to win, certain club pros get to come and play. And so you might be Rick Outzen lining up next to Scotty Scheffler. Now, Scotty Scheffler might beat the pants off of you, but it's pretty neat that you had that opportunity. By virtue of winning, we now get to go line up against the big boys and potentially host even an MLS team here in Pensacola. So the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, we got pass, do not pass go right into the tournament.
Oh,
so
that's fascinating.
Super excited about that, and again, we'll be relying on those veteran players and seeing who else we can pick up and bring in.
You know, it really seems a lot like, you know, as you watch soccer in England and where you have teams, as if they keep winning, they get to move up to another league and play at a different level.
Yeah.
And that's what this seems to be a sense of that happening.
There's a little bit of that. I'll tell you, that's referred to as the promotion relegation system, and it's one of the I think the best features of a lot of sport in Europe. It's so wonderful to have that opportunity. If you're this minnow, you're in a small market, but you can tell that story. There's that Netflix documentary, you know, Welcome to Wrexham, where they took that team way down there, and now they've come up 2 leagues. And the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is that opportunity for us to go up against the big boys and be a giant killer and kind of write our own Cinderella story. So we're excited about that, and yeah, just excited about the growth of Pensacola FC.
You know, we interviewed you last year when the USL League was looking at coming here. They had an exclusive to a year to spend on looking at this as a possibility. How do you see that playing into everything? You were excited about it a year ago.
Yeah, I still am. And I've been able to spend some time with the mayor and others that have been, you know, interested in bringing it to Pensacola. It being USL Soccer, I am. It is a challenge, right? I mean, this is a big jump from like the level where we're at now. This is true professional soccer with year-round budgets, bigger everything,
stadium requirements,
travel, and everything else.
Right.
I think that Pensacola would support it. I mean, we've got a very vibrant soccer community, and so I'm still excited about it. I have spent some time, again, kind of in the search for a location, and kind of had an initial place that we were hoping, the mayor and some of us were hoping would work out, and it didn't work out, and so and now there's maybe an alternative, and we'll continue to look at it. So this is what I would say. I have been a player, a coach. I've been since I was like 7 years old. I had So I'm not going to tell you how old I am now, but it's a lot of years, maybe a half a century or so.
Right. Maybe.
Maybe. But I will continue to do everything I can to support the growth of soccer in this community and to provide opportunities for our youth and then the next level. And I would love to see the USL be able to find a home here and make it come together. And I'm going to do everything I can to
Well, right now, the mayor's announced, and today the city administrator David Stafford brought up at the press conference, is there is a study being conducted to look at how Blue Wahoo Stadium could be adapted. And behind the scenes conversation and talking to Stafford, and you and I had just a little bit of a conversation, there is a need to do some renovation of that stadium already. It's going to be 20 years old, not too far in the future. It's not quite really at the level Major League Baseball requires, but because it's such a great fan experience and Quint has such a great relationship with Major League Baseball, we've been able to stave that off. But at some point, that's going to need to happen. I know one of the big challenges is that north-south orientation, which makes sense because you don't want players playing one team playing into the sun.
Right. Yeah. There aren't a lot of baseball stadiums that are doubling as like professional soccer pitches for a number of reasons. I mean, the physical process of transforming them, taking out that pitcher's mound, the dimensions themselves can be a little challenging depending on how the stadium is built. So you don't see it often, but there is no better place. I mean, if I could pick, I would, number one, always pick Wahoo Stadium. It's so wonderfully located, and as you said, I mean, Quint, the reputation that they've built, and just kind of the community awareness of, hey, let's go to the ballpark, right? Maybe we combine it with a dinner or something else. It would be perfect to be able to do it there. I'm glad the city's investing in the study, and hopefully it will provide some answers. And maybe as part of those renovations you referenced, we can unlock what's necessary to have it be a really first-class soccer facility.
And I think that'll be the challenge. We're way early in this process of figuring out whether that can happen. I think the study is worthwhile, but let's don't end on that note. Let's end the congratulations on the team. I know all your partners are as excited as you are, and to have a national champion and to be to hoist the trophy was pretty darn cool.
No doubt about it, man. I competed at a lot of things, played a lot of sports, had some successes, but it's not that often you get to say, I won a national title. I don't care what level, Pee-wee level, whatever level. And we did it this year, and it felt darn good. I'm going to tell you what.
Oh, that's great. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for the hat.
Absolutely.
I'll wear it proudly. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and break. We'll pay a few bills. I'll come back and wrap up this show.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
I learned during my military service to train every day to fight and fight to win. If you've been injured in an accident, you already know one thing for sure. The insurance companies are going to fight you for every dollar you deserve. At Michelson Booth, we settle most of the cases we handle. But if the insurance companies choose to fight, well, we're okay with that too. If you've been injured in an accident, choose a law firm that's got the resources, training, and stomach for the fight. Michelson Booth, don't be a victim twice.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
I'm Rick Outzen. This is Rick's Blog Live. Thank you for watching. I try to make these shows as fast-paced as possible and throw a lot at you in a very short period of time. I think we did it again today. There's one other thing I do want to cover, and Pensacola State College on July 31st is closing its search for a new president. Who's going to replace Ed Meadows? The requirements are such that I think I'm going to apply. You only have to have a bachelor's degree. You can't have a master's or a PhD or equivalent work experience in lieu of a degree. I'm looking at it right here in front of me. Education, executive leadership could be higher education, business, military, state or federal government. I think 27 years running a paper, some people call that a business. I think that will qualify for me. Then they say you need to have equivalent experience in state education policy and state budgetary process. I've covered enough education meetings, the voucher system, how the soup is made, sausage is being made in Tallahassee, the same thing with the budget. I think we all should apply. It's easy. Go to the blog, ricksblog.biz. The application won't take you long. You'll need an application letter, which you can see mine, and use it as a model. You need to put your resume in there, have 3 references, and I would suggest have fun with it. Listen, they've already picked who they want. Zach Smith is running it. He knew he wanted his job at UWF was to get the job from Manny Diaz Jr. He did that. That was the only person his search committee suggested for the job. Here we're going to have the same thing happen over at Pensacola State College. Who it is, I have no idea. It could be me, it could be you. But it's more than likely going to be someone who's inside the governor's office or the Department of Education, some nerd that we don't even know, or a state lawmaker. It could be Doug Broxton, could be Michelle Salzman. We definitely know it won't be Alex Andrade because of how hard he's hit the governor on Hope Florida Foundation. So it's a possibility out there. But look it over. Go to the blog. I've got all the requirements there. It's a simple process to fill out the application, but let's have fun with it. You know, life is too short not to have some fun, and we won't know who has applied. That's all in secrecy. That's by state law, so we don't know how many. They'll tell us how many applications, and they may be truthful. They may not. But wouldn't it be fun if one of us got the job? I know what I would do. I've even put that list there. All right, we've had enough fun for today. We'll be back next week with Rick's Blog Live. I'm Rick Outzen. Have a good week.